Coming up on Nittany Game Week.
It's a relatively new program, and nobody had this on their bingo card for a while.
Former Nittany Lion and current Hershey Bear Alex Limoges sits down to tell us why he's not surprised to see PSU in the Frozen Four.
It's something that we can continue to work on, and I'm just glad we got quite some time before we play in August.
The national champs are back on the court. It's our first look at the women's volleyball team as they host Pitt in their spring game. And they're slugging home runs at a record pace. Why the softball team's lineup is built with a balance of power. It's time for Nittany Game Week. It is the first of what they hope is many appearances in the college hockey Frozen Four. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski. The women's volleyball team back on the court for the first time since winning the national championship, and the softball team is in a historic groove at the plate. But we start our opening drive on the ice in St. Louis as the underdog Nittany Lions face off with traditional power Boston University in the national semifinals. Lace them up for the second game in the Frozen Four semifinals. Western Michigan needs double overtime to eliminate Denver, so face-off is delayed almost 90 minutes for Penn State and Boston University. A quality chance early in the first. Aiden Fink races in, wide on the shot in front. This one stays scoreless as Coach Guy Godowski watches from the bench. Terriers with a beauty of a pass in front. Nittany Lions netminder Arseny Sergeyev up to the challenge, stretches for the save. We move to the second period. BU has top-end NHL caliber talent, and they deliver on this 2-on-1. Too quick for Sergeyev to get there in time. Nittany Lions have to dig out of a hole. They get on the board early in the third. Nicholas DeGraves stays with it in front, slides home a loose puck to cut the deficit in half and get the blue and white some hope. Stays 2-1 until the final minute. Empty net goal for Boston U as they dash the hopes of the Nittany Lions. 3-1 is the final. A historic season comes to a close for PSU.
It's always tough when the season ends, but I honestly, I just can't help but feel so, grateful is one, and positive about this year and this team because, again, I've said it before, but we were left for dead not long ago, and for these guys to come back and play in St. Louis is remarkable, and better than that is how they did it.
It was a great year for us, first Frozen Four for our program. I think it's massive for our program, and it is difficult losing, but the senior class did an unbelievable job with the leadership this year, showing us the way, and we're just going to get prepared, learn off this, and come back next year.
Coach Godowski has openly talked about the influence the women's volleyball team has had on the men's hockey team. And Wednesday night, the coaching staff for the defending national champions show their support for the Nittany Lions in the Frozen Four. All of them wearing the PSU hockey sweater. Coach Schumacher-Cauley with Godowski on the back. Great idea to show how the programs are united.
It's kind of a surprise. This is Brian, our assistant coach. It was his idea, and obviously we're so excited for hockey going to the their first Frozen Four, and just wanted to show them a little love since we were on Big Ten Network.
Love the gesture from the women's volleyball staff. They certainly understand that every little bit helps when you're pursuing a national title. And every time they take the floor, they do so as the defending national champs. They're still basking in the glow of their late December victory over Louisville in Louisville. They didn't get there by taking it easy in the spring months. The champs are back on the court, hosting rival and fellow Final Four competitor Pitt at Rec Hall. Some notable names and faces are now missing from the lineup. The team loses a bunch of seniors and their leadership. It's a great crowd for the high-level exhibition, and both teams show why they made up half of the Final Four this past year. After Penn State cruises to a set one victory, the Panthers grab the next two. This, the winning point in set four. Penn State takes it 25-23 to even the match at 2. Now, the Nittany Lions race out to a 10-4 advantage in the final set. The Pitt is going to be a contender with a talented lineup. They storm back and end up capturing the deciding set 15-13. An entertaining match, The coach sees glimpses of excellence, but she's not pleased with the finish down the stretch.
I thought we would have competed a little bit more in the fifth set and finished. You know, again, when you have a lead like that, you have to be able to close out. You know, I mean, Pitt's a great team, and they take some big swings, and but you know, being able to finish is part of it. And you know, we're waiting for someone to step up and lead this group, and they're working on it. So they're working, and you know, we'll play Maryland this weekend and be better.
After the match, the players did a meet and greet with their fans, signing a bunch of autographs and taking plenty of pictures. Coach alluded to having a young team. Only one senior is listed on the current roster. Now, like a lot of the winter programs now competing in spring postseason events, the men's gymnastics team wants peak performances when it's time to compete for a championship. The Big Ten Conference and NCAA meets are both in Ann Arbor at Michigan. The national title will be decided next weekend on April 18th and 19th. They had a solid showing for the Nittany Lions at the conference get-together. Day one is the team championship, PSU with a second-place finish. This is Matt Underhill on the vault. The finish is so important in this event. Underhill sticks the landing, then lets out the emotion. He is pumped up. Should be flawless on his 2 feet to end this vault. Day two is the individual portion, and each gymnast going for gold on the apparatus. Matt Cormier earns several podium finishes on the night. Here he is ending his routine on the parallel bar, scores a 13.60. Then it's Josh Carnes, a 2023 champion in the event, and he locks in again to execute a difficult routine. Carnes, with the outstanding dismount that he does stick, posts a 14.450 score that holds up. He becomes a 2-time parallel bars champ and once again earns first team All Big Ten honors. The team now sets its sights on the NCAAs.
It's funny because we don't really focus too much on the individual aspect of it. When one guy does great, it inspires the guy next to him, and that's the thing we want to do, is encourage those guys to make it about the guy next to them. If they make it about them, and there's the other 14 guys that are making it about that one guy, everybody's in your corner, and they all get better. And the individual results take care of themselves. You know, we've got a host of Big Ten and NCAA champions across the years, and that's because we've had that mindset.
The coach will strike the necessary balance to give the guys enough rest and get them ready for the NCAA championships. Still ahead, the roadmap to victory for PSU's softball team includes a lot of jogging around the bases. Why it's necessary to have balance and power in the lineup to compete in the Big Ten. More Nittany Game Week after this.
Embark on a journey of luxury.
A new level of sophistication.
Where?
In the Pocono Mountains.
The Lodge at Woodlock. Elegance defined.
The Swiftwater, a new and exciting addition to the luxury collection.
The picturesque French Manor. The iconic Mount Airy Casino Resort.
The Grand Lady of the Pocono Mountains, Skytop Lodge.
The Pocono Mountains Luxury Resorts Collection at PoconoMountains.com.
I've always wanted a big family, but one moment can change your whole entire life.
I went to the doctor and was told I had stage 3 cancer and I would most likely never carry another baby. Right before I was about to start chemotherapy, I was told about a new clinical trial funded by Stand Up to Cancer that used immunotherapy. And after my 9th treatment,
My tumor had completely disappeared.
because of this trial, I was able to welcome a beautiful baby girl and watch my family grow. Help push cancer research further at standuptocancer.org/cures.
Roadmap to Victory is sponsored by the R&R family of companies.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. It's easy to say the secret to success for Penn State is simply stepping into the Nittany Lions softball park batter's box. A 9-game winning streak at home. Back-to-back 15-run efforts at Beard Field. First time in program history to accomplish the feat. They're knocking the cover off the ball in State College to lift themselves to a winning record on the year. In this week's Roadmap to Victory, the coach and players explain why it takes balance and power to stay in a groove on offense.
This is a pivotal part of the season. Obviously, we struggled a little bit in the beginning, but I think it's big for us now. Just having that win streak and playing at home, it's been really nice.
The Lions haven't been very nice to opposing pitchers. In the first 5 games in April, they've pounded out 48 runs and recently broke the program's home run record for a season, surpassing last year's mark of 53.
one of the best offenses that we've had here at Penn State, and it's one of the best offenses in the country. When you look at the stats, we're a top 25 team in several offensive categories, and just we're very, very, very fortunate to just have great hitters.
No matter what, even though we struggled in the beginning, we were going to hit a point, turn it around, and play Penn State softball, and that's exactly what we've been doing, and it's been showing in our record and our offense in the last few games.
Sure takes the pressure off the pitching staff when you can score runs at a record clip. This is not a lineup that is all or nothing.
You want a balance, right? You want some speed, you want some power, and fortunately, we've been able to kind of do it all this year. Our offense, I tell you, they're resilient, they're tough, and it's hard to get us out.
The standard for Penn State softball was raised last season with the first NCAA tournament bid since 2011. Much of the work to reach new heights takes place away from the ballpark.
It's super awesome to have the support staff that we do, making sure we're getting treatment and recovering in, training in the weight room, especially in the off-season to prepare for this, knowing that no matter what, we're trusting our preparation. So even when you are a little sore, you come out here, you put your best game together for the team.
Rest, recovery, nutrition, and actually today our athletic trainer, our strength coach, all of these people who are part of our kids' daily lives. And it's a big part of it, and I think our staff, I'm very blessed and thankful to have an incredible staff here at Penn State and just a group of people who work really hard behind the scenes for our kids every single day.
They have the firepower on the field. Combined with their confidence and intangibles, the Nittany Lions can be a dangerous team in the latter part of the season.
Beating Minnesota out in Oklahoma City and Devon Park was awesome, finishing off that whole weekend strong for us. Obviously, the sweep against Rutgers was super cool, beating the home run record, and our pitchers just shutting everybody down and defense picking them up, making some really awesome plays. Playing together is the biggest piece. You're playing with 9, so if you don't get it done, somebody else is going to pick you up.
Mental toughness, going out every day and just being able to compete no matter the ups and downs, just staying in it no matter what.
They want to keep the momentum going in a home weekend series with 22nd ranked Ohio State. Regular season ends on Sunday, May 4th at home versus Washington. The Big Ten tournament starts a few days after at Purdue. Spring football practice continues for PSU. Always nice to have a position coach that excelled at the position at the school you're attending. That's the case for freshman LeVar Arrington II. Of course, he has a former All-American in his dad to learn from. Also has his current coach, Dan Connor. Arrington inherits the number 11 from Abdul Carter, who may be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft in a few weeks. Like any other freshman, he's learning a lot and making progress every day.
He's a freshman, just walked in the door, so he's learning the defense. He's learning how to be a college athlete, but he's got a tremendous amount of skill and athleticism, so we're excited about what he can do for us in the future.
The spring practice continues all the way until the Blue-White game, which takes place on Saturday, April 26th. Up next on Nittany Game Week, we go on location in Chocolatetown for our Impact interview. We're hitting the ice with former Nittany Lion and current Hershey Bears player Alex Limoges. Why the defending Calder Cup champ says Coach Godowski is the perfect fit for PSU.
These are more than just trucks. Every shipment moved by the R&R family of companies contributes to the Excel Foundation for Autism Research and Inclusion, funding safe spaces like the Sensory Room at Penn State's Beaver Stadium, and a special event sensory trailer, and giving thousands that were unheard a voice.
Now is the time to amplify non-speaking voices and drive meaningful change.
These trucks are powered by purpose.
This could be you celebrating as you run across the 50-yard line at Beaver Stadium. Gather your family and join Special Olympics Pennsylvania on Sunday, April 27th at the Paterno Family Beaver Stadium Run presented by Sheetz. Whether you choose to participate in the 5K or the Mount Nittany Health Family Fun Walk, every participant helps Special Olympics Pennsylvania provide free sports, health, and leadership programming to people with intellectual disabilities in your community. Visit stadiumrun.org to register or donate today.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. We've changed locations for our Impact interview. That's because we're at the Giant Center with former Penn State hockey player and current Hershey Bear, Alex Limoges. Alex, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's an exciting time for you guys, trying to back up two back-to-back Calder Cups with a third run, but we're going to talk Penn State hockey for a little bit. And when I say to you, the Nittany Lions are competing in the Frozen Four, what's your first reaction when you hear that?
Just pure excitement. It's awesome to hear, and we talk about it every day in the locker room. Everybody keeps asking who they got and what the matchup looks like. So it's a lot of fun for me, and I'm bringing a lot of friends into it too.
So are you a nervous wreck watching this team? I know, we've talked a little bit about it as the season went on. How much were you able to follow what they did? And as far as the regional in Allentown, were you able to catch any of that action? And how are you watching this team? You're pretty calm dude overall, but how have you been watching the Nittany Lions?
Yeah, no, it's been calm the whole season, and then the tournament really ramped things up, of course. But most of the time we've been playing when they're playing, so luckily I had something to focus on. But now tomorrow night is, I'm going to be nervous wreck. I'm going to get my popcorn all settled and make sure the Wi-Fi is good. So yeah, it'll be a fun night.
So it's a really intriguing final Frozen Four when you've got Denver, who's done what they've done recently, Boston University with that tradition-laden team, and then Western Michigan and Penn State, just that new program that's making it there. They've been on an interesting timeline with Penn State, going from a club program to jumping right into a Big Ten schedule. Did you envision this happening about this time? You know what I mean? And Coach Godowski so well. I mean, is this kind of fit what you guys thought maybe the timeline would be to accomplish a Frozen Four appearance?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's probably quick for a lot of people outside looking in, but when I got there, they had won the Big Ten championship in one of their first couple of years. And so they went to the tournament that year. We went to the tournament my freshman year. So it's like we're always knocking on the door. And I knew the guys we had coming in and the guys more recent that there's always been a chance. I think my best chance would have been the year COVID shut everything down. But, I feel like we've been close and knocking at the door for a while now.
Why Coach Godowski? Why is he the right guy for that particular job in Hockey Valley? Because you have coaches that fit certain places and in certain roles, and why has he been so successful and been able to do what he's been able to do there?
Well, that's a great question. I think there's a lot of things that go into that, but you see him and how he approaches the media. It's the exact same in the locker room. Wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just such a fun, competitive guy to be around, and that really sets the tone for the team. So it's when you walk in the rink, you're going to have a good time. It's going to be competitive, and when it translates on the ice, you see it happening now.
You mentioned the competition. I've heard the legendary stuff about how competitive he is, whether it's ping pong or darts or all that kind of stuff. And I guess two-headed question in that: why decide for Penn State for you, and how does that type of stuff build that chemistry amongst the players? And I'm sure those are the things that recruits hear and that bring them to Hockey Valley.
Well, first off, I'll say he very competitive. He brings all those little games that he's good at into the rink. So that's he always has one leg up. Like I think COVID, that was before the dartboard, and he was practicing darts every day. And then a year later he brings it into the rink, and of course he's already the best. But no, he's
strategic.
Exactly,
he's strategic, in other words, in how he does it.
He never loses at anything he does. So, no, it's fun. It's just, the second that I met him, I knew it was going to be a great fit for my career and my progression. And it's just like he's providing the tools, providing the expertise, and then it's up to me if I want to work hard and do it. And I think, when I went to Penn State, the facilities, the academics, close to home was just all things that went into my decision, and it was a cold, rainy day on spring break when I went, so I couldn't get the experience, but I just knew I knew this is where I wanted to go.
Well, and you go back. I mean, you've went back and you've trained there and you've worked out there, and I know we have talked to them about you, and I mean, they can't speak in more glowing terms about you and what you did on the ice and off the ice for your career. So I think that also adds, I'm sure, to your excitement, right, and that relationship and that tightness. But, for them and for you, how do you assist them when you go back there, and how does it help you? Because you're still working together to enhance your career and get those details down, but it also helps them to know that they've got a Calder Cup champ that comes back and helps, with the program. And I'm sure if you need somebody to call you, that you're there to talk to them about the program as well.
Yeah, I think it's such a great relationship, and it's something that I want to stay involved in. And when I went there, they did an enormous amount of things to help me get here. And so now it's just kind of, I have fun with the staff there. I know most of them, and I want to be involved with the guys coming in the next teams and kind of show them a good reference on what it takes to make it to the next level. And so it's been great going back and getting to know the young guys and staying involved in the team. And, as guys that I played with graduate and move on, it's fun to follow them, but also remind them, hey, this is our school, this is our home, we got to get back to it as well.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Roar Zone and their effect on home games, and certainly on the Allentown Regional. There's going to be watch parties at Pagula Arena, all that type of stuff. That is all part of the experience too, because what you do on the ice, and obviously the facilities are phenomenal, but playing in front of that crowd, that's special.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're a part of the team as much as anybody else. They're so well rehearsed, and they have great knowledge of the game and the team and little things that go on. So it's so much fun. I would stand out there before warm-up start, and as soon as they're allowed to get in, they're setting up their signs, each of them for individuals. We're picking out which sign is new this week and stuff like that. And it's a six-man out there, and you never have to create your own energy. They always got your back no matter what the score is.
Really appreciate catching up with Alex, one of the all-time greats in the blue and white. Make sure you check out our website, nittany-game-week.com, for all of our Impact interviews and web exclusive content. Time to step aside. When we come back, our Dean's List honors the best in PSU athletics from the past 7 days. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week.
The headlines are heart-wrenching. Crews recover body of missing swimmer. Drowning victim did not wear a life jacket. You don't think it can happen to you. The river looks calm, but the current is a killer if you don't wear a life jacket. Swimming, floating, fishing, boating, wear it. The life you save could be yours. Don't fall victim to drowning. Wear a life jacket.
These are more than just trucks. Every shipment moved by the R&R family of companies contributes to the Excel Foundation for Autism Research and Inclusion, funding safe spaces like the Sensory Room at Penn State's Beaver Stadium, and a special event sensory trailer, and giving thousands that were unheard a voice.
Now is the time to amplify non-speaking voices and drive meaningful change.
These trucks are powered by purpose. The Nittany Game Week Depth Chart is brought to you by Burke and Bradley Orthopedics. Located in Pittsburgh, Burke and Bradley Orthopedics is a comprehensive sports medicine practice, providing patients with the most current and innovative approaches in diagnosis and treatment.
Hi, Coach Katie. On behalf of Penn State Softball, we just want to say that we're playing for you today in our cancer awareness game. Your story brings so much grit and inspiration to the Penn State community, and today we play for you. We are Penn State!
An incredible statement from the Penn State softball team. They honor women's volleyball coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley on their All Cancer Awareness Day. Coach was diagnosed with breast cancer in September, still guided the team to a national title. She was very thankful for the gesture. She says she's feeling good, still has some follow-up treatment to finish, even though she's been cancer-free since mid-February. And it's now time to talk about some standout Penn State athletes from the past week who've made our Nittany Game Week Dean's List. We start in the classroom. 3 athletes were recognized for their academic work. Jess Merzick for women's volleyball, and football's Tyler Warren were named winners of the Ernest McCoy Memorial Award, given to student athletes who combined successful athletics with academic excellence. Field hockey's Julianne Van Beckham received the John Oswald Award for graduating seniors who've shown outstanding leadership. On the track, Hondel Robin was named the Big Ten Men's Athlete of the Week. Robin ran a 1:45.16 in the 800 meter at the Florida Relays last weekend. That ranks as the top time in the Big Ten for the 800 this season and second in all of the NCAA. It's the second fastest time in program history. Congrats to this week's Dean's List honorees. And of course, we are not just a TV show. We bring all Nittany Lions together with our depth chart at nittany-game-week.com. We're connecting businesses that support the show with our viewers. The goal is to build a team that keeps our hometowns strong. If you haven't noticed, the PSU Athletics Department is red hot, and we're having a bunch of fun covering all things blue and white. Make sure to check out nittany-game-week.com for web-exclusive content. Still have over a month of shows to go. Make sure you check out past episodes on our website and submit some pride picks. For the entire Nittany Game Week crew, I'm Todd Sadowski. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
In the Pocono Mountains, we always want you to feel like a guest in our home, our mountain home.
Our 4 diamond homes.
You can dream.
Relax, we'll do it all for you.
Do it your own way. Choose a vacation rental home.
Our water parks are a splash of world class. We don't have to clean all these rooms, right?
The Pocono Mountains, where you're treated like a guest in all our mountain homes. Visit PoconoMountains.com.